It is 6:45, so you know what that means. It is almost time to play ball. Good evening and welcome to Russell E. Diethrick Park here in Jamestown, New York, as the 17-7 Jamestown Tarp Skunks get set to take on the 10-13 Olean Oilers. I am Jalen Ferguson alongside the legendary Dre Guinness. And Dre, after losing to Batavia on Wednesday by a score of 8-6, the Tarp Skunks were able to bounce back and get the win over Olean last night, the final score being 8-7. Some key players out of that was James Dixon, Dom Costello, not to mention his home run back in Batavia, and Caleb Jordan. It was just really good for those three players in a lineup that's kind of been lacking a little bit.
Well, see, that's the one thing that you can really point to the success of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks over this 17-7 record at this point is that there's always seems to be the next man up ready to take over. If someone starts slipping a little bit, someone starts going into a little bit of a funk, then you've got someone that can pick them up. If you, for example, we can look at Grant Moore was in a little bit of a mini slump, but you had guys like Dom Costello who makes a late arrival here on the season and immediately picks up with that production. James Dixon, JRC, Nate Muncy, CJ Dugan, Caleb Jordan, all these guys are starting to get that next man up mentality, and it's only a matter of time before everybody on that roster clicks at the same time and becomes the team that I think that this team can be. And that is the kind of dominance that Batavia shows against us. I think we can flip that script and show that dominance against Batavia and the rest of the league.
Yeah, that's right. Joe Riedebach yesterday, he sent out a different lineup, like you said, Grant Moore, Eric Weeks, some players being sat down, giving them a break for yesterday. But it did give us an opportunity to see some players that we haven't seen. For example, Sean Spitaleri, as he went 1 for 2 with a double and 2 walks. I mean, like you said, the next man up mentality just really, it's what saves the Tarp Skunks in these games.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the Tarp Skunks fell behind 5-0 early. It was an unfortunate situation early on. Tate Johnson didn't bring the best stuff to the game, did go 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, 5 earned runs, walked 3, struck out 4, had some success on the mound. But Joe Santos coming in, throwing 4 innings of 3-hit ball. Yes, did give up 1 earned run, but did strike out 3. And then Chase Barron comes in, and a little bit of a rougher performance than we're used to seeing out of Barron. Again, it could very well have to do with the field conditions at Bradner Stadium, not a traditional baseball facility. But he did come in, 1 inning pitched, and pick up his 3rd save of the season. So, you know, with that in mind, Olean has lost their last 2 to Jamestown. They're coming in on a 4-game losing streak, or make that a 3-game losing streak, coming in at 10-3 after a successful 3-game winning streak. They've dropped their last 3 in a row. Jamestown still 5 of their last 7 in the win column. They did lose to Batavia, but there were some suspicious circumstances in that Batavia game, if we are being honest. Very rough calls behind the plate, very rough calls in the field, and it didn't just go against Jamestown. These were calls that also went against Batavia. It just wasn't the right type of environment for the Tarp Skunks to succeed. However, the one thing that I have noticed, and if you go back and look, the Tarp Skunks in their last few games against Batavia have kind of fallen into the same pattern where they will fall behind early on and then they'll have that 1 inning that gets them back in. The last 2 games they had was a home run here by Heath Fetchick that took the score from 4-0 to 4-3, and then the grand slam by Dom Costello on Wednesday night that made it 6-1 to 6-5. So, I mean, there is a lot of fight in the team. Sometimes you have to be a little bit patient. You have to wait for it to come a little bit. But this team is really starting to figure it out. And as we get into the second half of the season, we're in the 3rd quarter of the season, everything needs to really start to fall into place because right now half a game separates Batavia and Jamestown at the top of the division.
Yeah, that's right. Batavia is going to show to be a problem in the long stretch. But right now, after beating Olean last night, Olean gets another chance tonight to get their get back. Do you think that they're going to want to get their get back, especially on the road here at Russell E. Diethrick Park?
Oh, I can very much tell you that they want to get their get back. They're bringing out their one of their best pitchers against the Jamestown Tarp Skunks and Brady Burdine. And the last time Burdine pitched against the Tarp Skunks here in Jamestown, he ended up getting the win, going 6 innings, giving up 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts on 78 pitches. It was an efficient outing for Brady Burdine, and the Oilers would really love to be able to get that kind of production out of their starting pitcher tonight. Conversely, though, Ryan Tatar comes out his last outing against Niagara Falls on June 27th. 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts on 104 pitches. And I can guarantee you that both coaches would take that kind of production out of both of their starting pitchers here tonight. Maybe Joe Riedebach would like to see Tatar do a little bit better on the pitch count, but you know, when you have guys battling on 6, 7, 8 pitch at bats, fouling things off close to the strike zone, you know, that pitch count number is going to get up there a little bit. And a ton of credit to Tatar in his last start for throwing 104 through 7 innings and picking up the win.
That is right. Now, one thing I also want to mention, even though the Tarp Skunks have been slacking a little bit hitting wise, what has been saving them in these games is their ability to be able to draw walks. And those are being able to draw walks, extending the pitch count is what's keeping the Tarp Skunks in games a lot.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, you've seen a number of situations where the Tarp Skunks at the plate, they've been able to extend a 3-ball or a 3 or a 2-strike count into a full count. Conversely, on the other side, you've seen where the pitchers, they'll fall behind 3-0 and they can work themselves back into a count and come out with, more often than not, a positive result for the Skunks.
That's right. But as both coaches getting a meeting at the plate, let's give you the lineup for the Tarp Skunks.
Let's go ahead and give you the visiting lineup for the visiting Olean Oilers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
As they will hit first, leading off the third baseman, Derek Stout. Batting second, the second baseman, Thomas Bates. Brian Fleming, the right fielder, will bat third. Batting cleanup will be Aiden Williams out in left field. The extra hitter, Cooper Tarley, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, designated hitter, Christo Hunsaker. Denny Martin, the first baseman, will bat seventh. Catching and batting eighth will be Brady Smith. Keegan McElligott, the shortstop, will bat ninth. And Grant Fournier, the center fielder, will bat 10th. On the mound for the Olean Oilers is going to be Brady Burdine. And for Burdine, he comes in with a record of 2-2. It'll be his fifth appearance, 6 ERA in 18 innings. He's given up 19 hits. He's given up 14 runs, 12 of those earned, 8 walks against 13 strikeouts. Hitters hitting against him at a 288 clip.
Yeah.
Good.
I was going to say, yep, the Tarp Skunks really are going to have to extend his at-bats. Like I said, he's like one of their best pitchers.
And let's give you the starting lineups for the hometown Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Grant Moore, the center fielder, will lead off. Eric Weeks bats second, plays second. Nolan Smith at first base will bat third. The cleanup hitter will be Paul Delanto, the extra hitter. The designated hitter is Dom Costello. He will bat fifth. James Dixon bats sixth and plays shortstop. The left fielder, Anthony Trommer, will bat seventh. Caleb Jordan bats eighth and will play third base. Behind the dish for the Skunks will be Branson Lindquist batting ninth. And rounding out the starting 10 in right field will be C.J. Dugan. And again, on the mound for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks will be Ryan Tatar. We told you about his last outing, which was absolutely fantastic. Let's tell you where he is coming into this one. It's his sixth appearance. He is 1-1 on the season with a 7.41 ERA, 17 innings pitched, 22 hits, 16 runs, 14 of those allowed, 13 walks against 20 strikeouts. Hitters are hitting 314 against him, but a lot of those numbers can be a little bit deceiving as they were early season numbers with not a lot of innings to back them up. So it is going to be, again, a good matchup between Ryan Tatar and Brady Burdine of the Olean Oilers.
After the ceremonial first pitch.
That was a pretty solid pitch right there.
That was.
Right on the black.
Again, this Tatar versus Bardine is going to be a very good matchup. And we'll come back towards the national anthem and the first pitch and the lineups after this.
Back here at Russell E. Diethrick Park, as we are getting set for the first pitch of the ball game, we'd like to remind you that the Tarp Skunks will be in Niagara tomorrow, taking on the Ironbacks on 4th of July. Seems a little sad that the Skunks are not going to get that as a home game, but nonetheless, it'll be on the Niagara Ironbacks YouTube channel, and then up in Elmira on Sunday. The next time we are back here at Diethrick Park is going to be $2 night. Tuesday against the Newark Pilots, and you're not going to want to miss that. We're just a couple of minutes away from the first pitch, but we are going to step away for the playing of the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and move your caps to signal all you black as we honor America with the singing of the national anthem by Rebecca George.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming,
We'll come back we'll come back towards the ceremonial first pitch. No, we're going to keep it here.
Yeah, we've already gotten past the ceremonial first pitch. We're ready for first pitch here at Diethrick Park.
That's right.
An absolutely stunning day here at the ballpark. The last apparent day of the massive heat wave that has blown in. Currently sitting at 86 degrees. A slight wind from left to right field out there. Around 7 miles an hour, 59% humidity, which means that ball, when it gets up there, could take flight here at Diethrick Park. Currently, though, feels like 90 degrees. A little bit on the toasty side, but expected to cool off over the next couple of days.
It's going to be very interesting to see how balls are being put in play. How the outfielders be able to track it.
Well, I can tell you this. I saw a bit of batting practice today while I was getting everything set up after our road trip extravaganza. Not so much an extravaganza, but that's what we'll go with. And, I mean, the left-handers were having a field day shooting balls into right field, and over that fence, JRC had 2 monster shots, one that had to go at least 430. So it'll be interesting to see how the ball reacts flying out to right field. Left field, I would expect it to have a bit of a jet stream out there, but it's going to push things towards center field a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be the kind of wind that's going to knock things down. Let's give you the defensive alignments for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks as we are set for first pitch. From left to right, it's going to be Anthony Trommer, Grant Moore, and C.J. Dugan. Jordan Dixon, Weeks, and Smith from third to first. Branson Lindquist behind the plate. And on the mound is Ryan Tatar, coming in with a 1-1 record with a 7.41 ERA. And here to tell you all about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much, as he is going to face the first batter of the game, Derek Stout. And here's the first pitch. That one just missed. 7:07 is the official time of the first pitch.
Very nice.
Been learning. Want to know the count. That one's fouled on the right side.
Stout comes in batting a stout 349, 15 hits and 43 at bats, 3 doubles, 2 triples, a home run, 24 RBIs for the Oilers.
See, he got a 1-1 count. That one just missed. 2-1. I like how you did there. Transitioned from stout to stout.
Play on words.
The 2-1 to Stout. That one in the zone for a strike. 2-2 the count. And Olean looking to answer back after yesterday. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one just missed. So it's a full count now to Stout. Thomas Bates, the second baseman, is on deck.
You know, I've got to commend Stout for his approach here. 5 pitches, he hasn't swung the bat.
Well, he lays down a ground ball, feels it as Dixon, throws on the first, and that one is not in time. So the leadoff man comes on aboard in an infield single.
And, I mean, it was close. I would love to see the replay on that one myself.
It was pretty close. I don't know. That could have been anybody's there. I was going to bring in Thomas Bates with a runner at first. Olean with a 10-13 record. Tarp Skunks with a 17-7 record.
That's a big lead over at first for Stout.
Very aggressive lead at first. That one is fouled on the right side.
Well, the Tarp Skunks have one of their best defensive catchers behind the dish in Branson Lindquist here tonight. Sub-2 pop time, measuring around 1.83 to 1.85.
It's going to be really hard to get a steal off of him.
That is a even bigger lead at first.
Snap to the first. Not in time. I was going to say, I'm surprised he didn't make a snap to the first, or Nolan Smith never told him to.
I think that's going to be on Tatar, whether he wants to throw over there or not.
No steal. So that one is outside for a ball, 1-1.
That lead is ridiculous, though. His back foot is sitting on the infield or the first base cutout. Normally, you see the front foot, the lead foot, maybe 2 or 3 steps over that. He is actually almost out of the first base cutout.
Well, after the kick and deal misses, 2-1.
Maybe Lindquist might be thinking of a pick back.
You know, I think you could. I think he could. But you don't want to risk getting past Nolan Smith at first. So that is an even more aggressive lead. So that one is a fly ball fouled into the Olean bullpen. So 2-2 the count. Brian Fleming, the right fielder, is on deck. And the runner goes, swing and a miss, struck him out. Oh, and that's off the glove of Weeks, but fielded by Dixon.
Well, couldn't quite get the strike him out, throw him out, double play, but does get the strikeout at the plate. And with one down, that makes the runner at second a little less dangerous, but he's still in scoring position.
He's going to bring in Brian Fleming. Could possibly see him on the run to third.
Fleming also coming in with a .349 batting average, left-handed hitter.
That one is fouled just behind Olean's dugout.
2 doubles and a triple for Fleming. He only has 8 RBI on the season.
And this is a guy, Fleming, we haven't seen a lot, especially when going up against us. Here goes the 0-1. That one is a dribbler out to second, throws on to first in time, and Fleming is sat down on a routine play to second, and so that's going to bring in Aiden Willard.
Good play by Weeks. Realized he had some time, didn't charge it too hard. Came up right on the hop, gloved it, underhand flipped to Smith, and solid defensive effort by the super utility Eric Weeks.
Well, Aiden Willard now standing in. That's the first pitch fouled just behind the first base umpire, or first base coach. So 0-1 the count to Willard.
Willard coming in, batting .297 on the season, a couple of doubles, 3 triples, 7 RBI.
But that one in there for a strike. 0-2 the count.
And Tatar, very similar to his last start against Niagara Falls, around the strike zone.
It's important how first pitch strike is. That one pop up into shallow center field, but makes the catches more, and that'll do it. On 1 hit, 1 left on, no score. We go to the bottom of the first. It is 0-all.
No scores. We go to the bottom of the first inning. It'll be the top of the order for the Tarp Skunks. Grant Moore, Eric Weeks, and Nolan Smith to face Brady Burdine in his 7th outing of the season. Here to tell you all about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Dre. Give you the defensive alignment for Olean from left to right. It is Willard, Fournier, and Fleming. In the infield, it is Stout, McElligott, Bates, and Martin. Behind the dish is Smith, and on the mound is Burdine.
And again, for Brady Burdine, actually his 5th start, not his 7th. Correct myself. 2-2 record, 6.0 ERA, 18 innings pitched, 19 hits, 14 runs, 12 of those earned, 8 walks against 13 strikeouts. But again, opposing teams hitting 288 on him, so it'll be interesting to see how this top of the bottom of the first inning goes.
And if you remember, even though you probably don't want to remember this, but after I think Burdine was pitching when he mercied us back in the 3rd game of the season.
Yeah, I'm trying not to remember that. That's probably one of the few times I can actually be happy to say that I'm having a senior moment. That one just not registering here today.
So first pitch to Grant Moore is that one's lined, and that one gets down. And Grant Moore rounding first, not heading over to second. He gets himself a single into left field on the first pitch.
Yeah, that could have been extra bases, but Willard able to get over there, cut that off as Moore was turning the corner, and discretion the better part of staying at first base and letting Eric Weeks step up to the plate.
Eric Weeks, both Grant Moore and Eric Weeks were given the day off yesterday. The first pitch to Weeks in there for a strike.
For Weeks, he comes in hitting .370 on the season, 73 at-bats, 27 hits.
Grant Moore going, throws on to second. That one gets past the second baseman and into the outfielder. So Grant Moore gets himself a steal.
And I did not see what the home plate umpire called. It looked like he called a ball. So we'll go with that for now. Weeks with 23 RBIs, though, on the season, leads the team.
He got those RBIs pretty fast, didn't he? A late start to the season, and now he is leading the Tarp Skunks in RBIs. So 1-1. That one, Chopper fouled on the third base side.
Yeah, Weeks is one of those guys that wears that leadership mantle around his shoulders and does a very good job, both on and off the field. The kind of guy that you want to build a team around.
So 1-2 to Weeks. That one, ground ball to short. That throws on the first, and they get Eric Weeks. So one gone for the Tarp Skunks, and that's going to bring in Nolan Smith.
Yeah, and there was absolutely nowhere Grant Moore could go with that one. He was stuck in no man's land as the ball grounded right in front of him. Only place he could go was back to second.
And Elliott probably could have tagged him if he went. Here is Nolan Smith. I don't know. Can we call Nolan Smith a newcomer now?
No, he's a returning veteran.
A returning veteran as the first pitch misses, or in there for a strike.
Since he's been with the team, 2 for 11 on the season. A little bit of a slow start, but
that is a ground ball to second base, and that one gets past Bates. Grant coming home. And just like that, the Tarp Skunks take the lead here at the bottom of the first. It is 1-0 Tarp Skunks.
And we'll see what they score that. I think that should be a base hit, and that is exactly what it is. So Nolan Smith, we were saying, bothered a little bit by an elbow injury coming in, just picked up his 3rd hit in 12 at-bats. So an RBI single give the Skunks a 1-0 lead.
That's going to bring in Paul Delanto. as he watches the first pitch for a ball.
It's been a little bit since Paul Delanto's touched them all.
Has been a while. I feel like that was 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Team leader in home runs with 2.
That one is fouled over the press box. So 1-1 the count for Paul Delanto. Nolan Smith at first. So that one is up high for a ball. 2-1 the count. Nolan Smith, an RBI single on the previous play. He's able to drive in Grant Moore, and now Paul Delanto. That one misses for a ball. 3-1 for Delanto.
And good plate vision, plate discipline by Delanto. Those pitches very close, and those are the kind of pitches these umpires will sometimes call for strikes.
That one in there for a strike, and now the count is full. Dominic Costello on deck. Hopefully he can get his at-bat by avoiding the double play.
Well, Delanto's going to have to tighten up here with the full count.
That one is fouled behind the dish, and we're going to do a 3-2 all over again. Paul Delanto has the longest at-bat on the Tarp Skunks with 12 pitches delivered to him. That was back in Niagara. 3-2. Swing and a miss by Delanto, and he has sat down on strikes. That's going to bring in Dominic Costello.
The designated hitter, number 30, Dom Costello.
Costello breathing some life into a Tarp Skunks offense when they need it. Since he's been back, he's had 7 at-bats, 3 hits, including the grand slam.
Well, that's a ground ball to short. Throws on the second, steps on the bag, and that'll do it for the Tarp Skunks. But on 2 hits, 1 run comes across, 1 left on. We go to the top of the second. It is 1-0 Tarp Skunks.
One nothing Tarp Skunks with the lead as we head to the top of the second inning. And the Oilers will send up Cooper Tarley, Christo Hunsaker, and Denny Martin to face Ryan Tatar in his second inning of work. And here to tell you all about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Dre, as that first frame kind of went by a little faster.
No complaints, though. I'll tell you that. Those are the kind, especially on a day like this, you don't want to be sitting out there with that sun beating down on your baseball hat. Little Beastie Boys reference. I won't finish the line. You can sing along at home if you know.
So, Tarley, Hunsaker, and Martin due up for Ryan Tatar. Here is Cooper Tarley. And he is shown to be a problem, not really with the bat in his hand, but on defense with a couple defensive stops against the Tarp Skunks.
And Tarley not a slouch at the plate, though. Does come in batting .288 on the season.
A swing and a miss by Tarley.
Does have a double, a home run, 10 RBIs. Pretty efficient first inning for both Burdine and Tatar. And no, that wasn't a pause for dramatic effect.
That one is outside for a ball. 1-1.
That was me trying to manage three things at once.
That is true. As the lights turn on. I always gotta like how early they turn on their lights. So the 1-1, that one line drive to right field coming in. It is Dugan who makes a diving catch. What a play!
What an outstanding catch for Dugan. That ball on a line started dropping in front of him. Was able to lay out and snag it for the first out. Unbelievable play.
So that's going to bring in Christo Hunsaker after the loud out number 1.
And after 16 pitches in the first inning,
that one is in the dirt for a ball.
You know, Tatar would like to try to cut that in half, see if he can get out of the second and 8.
I mean, like you said, Ryan Tatar, he had 7 innings of work in his last appearance. That one is outside for a ball. 2-0.
You know, it very well could have been just some mechanical issues with the pitching mounds here in the league, and suddenly he's been able to figure it out and has been kind of on a roll here.
2-0. Fouled at the plate, and so it's 2-0. You know, I also think it's probably the next man up mentality as a loss to the pitching rotation, and now you had to step it up here.
Yeah, Jack Castillo in the transfer portal picked up by the University of Dayton, and they shut him down.
That one is in there for a strike. 2-2 the count to Christo Hunsaker.
You know, and I can't blame the University of Dayton for shutting Castillo down. You know, with an arm that valuable, you don't want to run the risk of him doing damage to that shoulder, especially if you're going to be depending on him to take innings in the regular season.
A swing and a miss by Hunsaker. Drop third strike. Throws on to first. That was very fast, but they got him at first, and so now there are 2 down. That's going to bring in Denny Martin.
Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. It's now with 2 down, and Tatar's only thrown 6 pitches this inning.
That's amazing. Swing and a miss by Denny Martin. So 0-1 the count.
Come on, Denny, do us a favor and just ground out to second.
Or even better, just ground out to the pitcher.
Oh, that would be nice too. You want to keep that on target for 8 here.
That went in there for a strike.
And it's going to be one of those games I'm going to have to be careful because it's a bit of a delayed call behind the plate here. But as long as it's consistent, I don't care if it takes him 15 minutes.
Well, 3 pitches and a strikeout for Tatar. And that'll do it for Olean. They go down 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second. It is still 1-0 Tarp Skunks.
1-0 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Brady Burdine on the mound through 16 pitches, his first inning of work, and he will face James Dixon, Anthony Trummer, and Caleb Jordan due up here for the Skunks. 6, 7, 8, and here to tell you all about it is Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Dre. Olean with no runs on 1 hit. Jamestown with 1 run on 2 hits, both teams without an error. And Burdine here to start his second inning of work. He will face James Dixon.
James Dixon comes in batting .211. He got his average up from .093 to over the Mendoza line. Currently 8 for 38, does have 3 RBIs on the season.
So here he goes. And that one in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. It's like you said, you got to be careful with these delayed calls. So 0-1. That one at the plate fouled.
Man, I must have glanced off of him. So otherwise, that should have been a fair ball if it just bounced off the plate. Maybe it bounced behind the plate first.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Home plate umpire says it was foul.
Dixon not showing any sign of contact, so.
Well, now he's up in the count, or behind in the count, 0-2. That one inside for a ball.
That one a little bit up, too, just above the letters. Always get nervous when pitchers come up that high toward the head.
That one, line drive, and that one gets past the shortstop. Dixon rounding first, not going to second. He gets himself a single.
And James Dixon, that next man up mentality, lines a leadoff single to start the bottom of the second inning. We'll see what Anthony Trommer can do to get him moved around the base path. Trommer started off slow, but he's got his average over 300, batting .310 on the season, a couple of doubles, 7 RBIs.
He was really due for a hit, but he has turned it around. First pitch inside for a ball. I was going to say James Dixon. He went 2 for 5 yesterday.
Yeah, Dixon likes to dance around at first.
And that is a strike on the pitch. So 1-1.
I'll give him that. That was a good call.
It's on the upper left-hand corner as that one is fouled, and that hits Trommer at the plate. So 1-2 the count.
Yeah, we haven't had a big sample size here in this game so far, but home plate umpire very consistent.
It's giving him a minute to make calls. He wants to make sure it's the right call. Dixon dancing at first. 1-2 to Trommer. That one just missed. Stone cold take by Anthony Trommer.
Took the words right out of my mouth. That one right at the letters. Could have gone either way, but Trommer wasn't interested in it.
So 2-2 to Trommer. That one, ground ball off Burdine. And Dixon, nobody is going to round any bases. This is going to be an infield single for Anthony Trommer. And they are going to go, they should go and check on Burdine.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's limping around at all. Looks more upset at the fact that the ball hit him and it ended up being a base hit more than anything.
Well, he turned his back, so it might have just got him on the leg, on the upper leg.
So back-to-back singles to open up the bottom of the second. And now a dangerous left-hander in Caleb Jordan comes up.
Caleb Jordan was also one of those guys who were due for a hit and is able to turn it around in recent games.
340 or 246 average.
That one is outside for a ball for Caleb Jordan.
But one of the things about Jordan, and you wouldn't expect it, 246 batting average, okay, he's hitting about average. He's got 18 RBIs on the team. He's in the top 3 in RBI.
That one is up high for a ball, 2-0. And you know, that's right. It really tells me that he's getting on base when you need him to. In situations like this, with a runner in scoring position and one on at first.
It's that quiet success that some players have.
That one catches the inside for a strike. 2-1 to Caleb Jordan.
Yeah, early in the season, you know, I even hate to use this analogous, but he looked a little lost out there trying to figure out where the strike zone was, trying to figure out the velocity of pitches.
Well, that is a ground ball to Bates. Throws on a second. On no throw to first, avoiding the double play. It is a 4-6 put out. That's going to bring in Branston Lindquist.
Yeah, that was a fielder's choice, and, you know, that ball wasn't hit too hard. Thomas waited for it to come to him rather than charge at it, and by the time he got it into second, there was no play at first.
So he's going to bring in the catcher, Branston Lindquist. I remember he was one of those players with a lot of RBIs.
Yeah, Lindquist has cooled down a bit here.
Well, that one has popped up into no man's land. Coming in is Fleming, making the catch. No tag is Dixon at third. And so now 2 gone for the Tarp Skunks.
Yeah, an unfortunate first pitch swinging. You know, I was mentioning Lindquist started off hot and it's cooled down as of late. His average dipping from over 300 to just over 200, 213, as a matter of fact, coming into today.
I was going to bring in C.J. Dugan. And Dugan with a spectacular play in right field back at the top of the second. Caleb Jordan running to second. No throw. Running is Dixon. And he tags out Dixon at the plate. So no score for the Tarp Skunks. That'll do it. On 2 hits, 1 left on. We go to the top of the third. It is still 1-0 Tarp Skunks. And welcome back here to Russell E. Diethrick Park. Tarp Skunks up 1-0 here at the top of the third. Ryan Tatara here to start his 3rd inning of work. He will face Brady Smith, Keegan McGilligot, and Grant Fournier. And here to call it is Dre Guinness.
All right, Jalen, thank you very much. As we head to the top of the 3rd inning, Tarp Skunks holding on to a 1-0 lead. Got to give Jalen a ton of credit. This is the first time in his internship that he has taken the lead on a game and did an actual really good job.
Thank you. I was up all night and all morning working on that.
Well, it shows you were prepared. So we'll take it. Brady Smith, the catcher, stands in. 222 hitter. First pitch he takes is a called strike, and the count 0-1.
Ryan Tatar.
There's a foul down the right field line. Count goes 0-2.
Ryan Tatar is not hesitating on the mound. Quick deliveries.
Been very efficient. Even through that 7, the 104 pitches through 7. And a swing. And a miss. And down goes Smith. First strikeout of the inning. Third of the game for Tatar, man, with one away. That's going to bring up Keegan McEllicott.
That is his third straight strikeouts in the last 3 batters. Striking out.
Yeah, make that 4 strikeouts.
Oh, yeah, 4.
And that's a pretty impressive run. As Keegan McElligott, first time we're seeing him, left-handed hitter, squares and takes one outside for a ball, 1-0.
Like you said, McElligott, newcomer for Olean, has no stats to his name.
Wearing the number 41, Tapia, the, I guess, Oiler, maybe no longer with the team or whatnot, but had to borrow his jersey as a newcomer. That one comes in 2-0.
We were warned that some players had different jersey numbers.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to trust our PA announcer here tonight. Not Jeremy Becker, who is on vacation today. The 2-0 pitch misses inside, and the count goes 3-0.
Tatar has been doing a really good job avoiding the 3-0 counts, but now he's kind of wandered himself back into this situation.
We'll see what he can do to get himself out of this. 3-0, and the pitch. That one on the outside corner for a called strike. And it is 3-1. Again, we talked about that 3-0 to 3-1. Got to have it.
That count was kind of delayed, but you saw McElligott did not go over the first. He knew that was going to be a strike.
That one right at the knees for a called strike, and the count works full, 3-2. And Tatar, again, we talked about his ability to work back from a 3-0 to get back in the at-bat here.
That 3-0 really lit a fire under his back. 2 straight strikes.
In the 3-2 pitch, there's a ground ball too short. Gloved by Dixon. Throw on to first in time. And there are 2 away here.
That was a good job by Dixon, clearing a lot of ground. That one was almost behind the bag at second, and he was able to get that play at first just in time.
And give him a little bit extra credit too. That ball bouncing into the palm of his glove, not the pocket. So that's going to sting a little bit. Clean transition, clean throw to first. As Grant Fournier stands in, 10th place hitter, and that ball hits the dirt for ball 1.
Now, Grant Fournier, literally, sometimes he is at the top of the lineup, either batting 1 or 2, but now they have him at 10.
Yeah, power at the bottom of the lineup. That's what we've talked about with the Skunks. 315 average coming into the day with 8 RBIs. Not a lot of extra base hits for him. That's another thing too, is that one misses high for a ball. 2-0. Olean does not come in with a lot of extra base hits. Tarp Skunks are in the top 3 in the league in extra base hits. That one, Anthony's for a called strike, and the count goes 2-1.
You know, I noticed in this league is that the 10th spot does not mean bad at or having a slow day at the plate. It just means extra speed.
Yep. As that one comes in, catches the zone, evens the count at 2 apiece. Yeah, you know, it's kind of nice because you can actually split the lineup with your speedsters in the 1 and 6 spots, your cleanup guys in the 2 and 7, and then your power in 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. As that one just misses for a ball, 3-2.
I don't think, because how the Tarp Skunks really manage their lineup, there really is no bottom of the lineup. They try to attack you on all cylinders. Got to keep the other team guessing.
As the 3-2 pitch comes in, there's a ground ball to Dixon at short again. Nice collection, nice throw, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Olean Oilers. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, still 1-0.
And welcome back here to Russell E. Diethrick Park. Tarp Skunks still up 1-0 over the Olean Oilers. Burdine here to start his third inning of work. He will face Dugan, then the top of the lineup, Grant Moore and Eric Weeks. And here to call the action here, it is Dre Guinness.
All right, Jalen, thank you very much. As C.J. Dugan will stand in. He was at the plate when the unfortunate double steal did not work. And Dixon thrown out at the plate. So he will start with a fresh count. First pitch, line drive into center field. That is a leadoff single. Third consecutive leadoff single to start an inning for the Tarp Skunks. And that's the kind of sign you like to see. And that's going to bring us back to the top of the order for Grant Moore.
Well, like you said, he had a fresh count and then completely just cleans a ball into the outfield on the first pitch.
Grant Moore singled, stole a base, scored a run back in the first inning. And the first pitch he sees on the inside corner for a called strike, 0-1.
And Grant Moore, after being sat out yesterday, he comes in, singled on the first pitch.
That one swung on, fouled at the plate, and the count goes 0-2. Moore, had a couple of doubles in Batavia, but he has seen a few more strikeouts than he probably is used to. And I think that day off yesterday might have recharged his batteries a little bit.
Back in Batavia, had 3 strikeouts, something that we rarely see out of him.
As the 0-2 pitch comes in, there's a ground ball too short, picked up by McElligott. Throw on to second for one, throw to first, gets behind Martin. So a fielder's choice and an error on Olean puts Moore aboard, and with one out, that's going to bring up Eric Weeks.
That was good that Grant Moore didn't try to take second on that one, because that bounced off the wall very fast.
So Weeks stands in. First pitch to him, fouled back, and the count goes to 0-1.
Weeks grounded out to short in his last at bat.
Grant Moore halfway to completing his every game side quest to 2 stolen bases. Already has 1.
Probably could see him go today.
0-1 the count. That one taken up high for a ball, 1-1.
But I don't think he would go on Eric Weeks, because Eric Weeks is the one to put the ball in play.
Count even at 1. Moore taking a big lead. Runner goes. Pitch taken down for a ball. No throw as Grant Moore completes the side quests. Xbox achievement unlocked. Second stolen base of the ball game for Grant Moore, and the count goes 2-1.
Very rare achievement. Or not very rare, but
it's a bronze trophy. That one down at the knees for a strike, 2-2.
I was thinking of what trophy it will be for PlayStation.
Bronze. I'm mixing them up. I'm going with the Xbox achievement unlocked, but the PlayStation color trophies for the actual achievement. Line drive up the middle. That is a base hit. Moore hits the bag at third, turns the corner. He's coming to the plate. Here comes the throw. It is cut off. Weeks going to second. The throw in is not in time. Eric Weeks with a RBI single advances to second on the throw, and the Tarp Skunks take a 2-0 lead.
And good job by Eric Weeks. That one came screaming off the bag, or screaming off the bat, into the outfield and being able to drive in more.
So now here comes the left-handed hitting Nolan Smith. Welcoming him back to Diethrick Park as the first pitch is a ground ball off the glove of Burdine, off the bag at second base. That is a base hit. Coming around third and in to score is Eric Weeks. Nolan Smith gets on base with the unusual base hit, and the Tarp Skunks open it up to 3-0.
And if you notice, The Tarp Skunks are really hammering in the ball back up the middle. That is almost, I want to say, the fourth time it was hit up the middle.
Yeah, and Brady Burdine, nothing he can do about it. And that's the beauty about what the Tarp Skunks are doing here. They're not trying to do too much. See ball, hit ball, drive ball into a spot where nobody is, and they've been able to do that here in the fourth inning, or bottom of the third inning.
Hopefully, Weeks and More has some water. It's important to stay hydrated after running the base path, especially in this heat.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if they've got the Gatorade mix in the water jugs today.
Probably for today, especially on 4th of July or 3rd of July.
So Paul Delanto stands in. Fireworks after the game. Tarp Skunks providing the fireworks early here. 3 runs, 7 hits.
Well, Paul Delanto wants to set off some fireworks right now.
And he definitely can do it. Wind blowing from left to right, but not too hard. Burdine comes set. First pitch. There's a ground ball to third. Nice glove. Throw to second for 1. In time. Throw on to first. And they got him for the double play on a bang, blank, bang play. But 2 runs come across for the Tarp Skunks. They've opened it up to a 3-0 lead. We go to the top of the 4th inning.
The Jamestown Tarp Skunks put up 2 in the previous inning. As we go back to the top of the 4th, Ryan Tatar here to start his 4th inning of work. He will face the top of the lineup, Derek Stout, Thomas Bakes, and Brian Fleming. And here to call it all is Dre Giddis.
All right, thank you very much, Jalen, as Ryan Tatar starting his 4th inning of work. 46 pitches up to this point. So he is right on track for a 6 to 7 inning performance here. As Derek Stout stands in, he singled his first time up, stole second, and stranded there.
Have you ever seen a pitcher go the whole game in this league?
Or
at least heard about it?
Oh, heard about it? Yeah, there have been pitchers that have gone complete games.
Well, not like no mercies, like actual 9 innings.
Yeah. As there's a ground ball foul down the third base side. Count goes 0-1. Yeah, it's few and far between. Again, because it's not like the major leagues where you're paying them a lot of money, so go out there and throw innings. You have to manage their arms, make sure they're not going over their pitch count or inning allotment from their schools. Is that one? Did he go? He did. Appeal down to first. And that goes to 0-2. I did get to see a no-hitter last year here at Diethrick Park. Christian Pensick went 7 innings in a doubleheader and threw a no-hitter. That counts, as that is a curveball that lands in the dirt. 1-2.
That does definitely count, even though that's only 7 innings. But again, that was a doubleheader.
So now 1-2 the count, and the pitch. Oh, just under the knees.
That is as close as it gets. Very stone cold take by Derek Stout. Nonetheless, it is 2-2.
Tatar, fifth pitch of the inning of the at-bat, and that one's fouled back. And we'll do 2-2 all over again.
If I remember back in Olean the first time, Stout has really been able to extend an at-bat.
And now 2-2 comes all over again. Ooh, that one just off the corner. Lindquist tried to frame it, but no dice. Count goes full, 3-2.
And I saw a little frustration from Ryan Tatar on the mound. He thought that was strike 3.
And the payoff pitch fouled off. And this now goes to a 7-pitch at bat.
And Derek Stout, one of Olean's best hitters.
Payoff pitch once again. That's a high pop-up at the mound. Smith calls Tatar off and puts it away for out number 1. When that ball first went off the bat, Tatar was looking for it, and you could almost see him asking who was going to take it. And at the last second, Smith chimed in, said he was going to take it. Tatar got out of the way.
I heard somebody from Tarp Skunks bullpen telling them to talk. It was Smith calling everybody off.
So now with 1 down, that's going to bring up Thomas Bates. Struck out swinging his first time up. And the first pitch is a breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
Now that one was that was a nasty pitch there, freezing up Thomas Bates at the plate.
And the next pitch misses low, evens the count at 1 apiece. Seeing some chats in the YouTube feed talking about Grant Moore comparable to Bubba Chandler for the Tampa Bay Rays.
I feel like I heard that somewhere.
There's a foul, and the count goes 1-2. So, I mean, if we're going to open up that can of worms, we might start talking about comparables for everybody in the starting lineup.
Who you got for Nolan Smith then? Let's just go from 1 to 9.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not that good at making player comparisons. Is that one check swing appeal down did not go 2-2. I think I'm going to leave that for other people.
That'll be a good poll in the chat.
And the 2-2 pitch coming. That one called strike 3 on the outside corner. Bates caught looking, his second strikeout of the ball game, and with 2 down, that's going to bring up Brian Fleming.
That must have felt really good, ringing up Bates for a second time.
And Flemings comes in. 0 for 1, grounded out to second his first time up. Tatar kicks and throws. First pitch is in for a ball, 1-0. Yeah, I'm more of the, based on their last name, where do the players belong? What major league team? That's my gimmick. 1-0 swing and a miss. Now, if you were to ask me where do I think Nolan Smith would fit in, major league wise, just based off his name, I'd say probably the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, what team?
Yeah. There's a little one hopper to Dixon at short, gets under his glove into left field. That could be a base hit. That was a flare that.
And they gave him a hit.
Yeah, Dixon tried to get on the short hop and took a funny little spin underneath. And so that will break a string of 11 straight set down by Ryan Tatar. And with 2 out and a runner aboard, that's going to bring up Aiden Willard. First pitch. A little bit low.
For Nolan Smith, you say the Cardinals?
Yeah.
I would say the Braves.
See, I'm trying to imagine him in the uniform. I can't see him in a Braves uniform. Maybe a Phillies.
Maybe. Or is it because of the pinstripes?
Could be because of the pinstripes. As home plate umpire said, Willard went around that time 1-1.
Yeah, I think he went around too.
And that's the kind of play that I absolutely love. This a great call by the home plate umpire, realizing that the man who would have had a better vision of it is out of position. He took it himself. So 1-1 the count. And the pitch. There's a line drive into left field. That is going to be a base hit.
That one fast off the bat. Dixon could only do anything but watch it fly.
Yeah, that was going right where everybody wasn't. And now with 2 on, 2 out, that's going to bring up Cooper Tarley. Tarley flew out to right field to start the second inning.
That was the amazing diving catch by Dugan.
Yes, it was. Well, it's a good thing I'm going to have all weekend to cut this up for the highlights, for the Instagrams. First pitch taken for a called strike.
At least give me that diving catch call.
Oh, yeah, that's going. That's going. Hey, I don't just put up the highlights of my stuff on the Instagram. It's all Tarp Skunks. We're all a team here.
That is true.
0-1 the count. 2 down here. Top of the 4th inning as that one's fouled off. And the count goes to 0-2. You know, Eric Weeks, if I was to pick a team for him, and he's if he hears this, he's probably going to take an issue with it, but I could see him in an athletics uniform.
I'll put him on the Blue Jays, actually.
I could see that too. Definitely an American League style player.
I could say the White Sox.
Oh, I would never put anyone on the White Sox. That one taken inside and up for a ball, 2-1. 1-2.
Or maybe the Tigers.
I don't think a Tigers uniform would look right on him. 1-2 the count. 2 down here. Top of the 4th inning. Runners take their lead. Tatar kicks and throws. Breaking ball. There's a drive into center field. Moore going back on it. Tracks under it. Makes the catch. And the side is retired. No runs. A couple of hits. A couple of left. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Tarp Skunks still lead 3-0.
And welcome back here to Russell E. Diethrick Park. Birdine here to start his 4th inning of work. Tarp Skunks up 3-0. Looking to add on to it as Birdine will face Costello, Dixon, and Traumer. And here to tell you all about it, it is Trey Guinness.
All right, thank you very much. As Don Costello, the Dom father, stands in after that grand slam in Batavia. First pitch Taken outside for a ball. The legend continues to grow.
Well, he definitely did give me a history lesson on why he is the Dom father after that one.
1-0 pitch on the way. That one taken off the plate. 2-0. Well, the reason that where the nickname came from was up in St. Catharines last year in a game against the Niagara Ironbacks. The PA announcer kept calling him Don. As that one catches at the knees for a strike, 2-1. And, you know, me, I like to do a little play on words and whatever, so Don Costello became the Godfather, and now it's the Dom Father. It's 2-1. That one off the plate, 3-1.
He definitely showed everybody that he lives up to that nickname after that grand slam.
That was the first home run he's hit in the Tarp Skunks uniform. Added a little power between seasons. And the 3-1 pitch. That one on the outside corner, 3-2. And I like the approach here from Costello, kind of treating it almost as leading off a ball game.
If he wants to swing one and drive it, the wind is blowing towards Lafayette Corners.
And the payoff pitch in the dirt, and Costello draws a leadoff walk. And the trend of Skunks leading off the inning with a runner on base continues, as that'll bring up James Dixon.
Well, that's the thing. I talked about in pregame how the Tarp Skunks, their ability to draw walks have been saving them. However, that is the first walk they have drawn.
As the first pitch, comes in and hits Dixon. Not happy about it, but he will take his base, and the first two Skunks get on via free pass.
I was going to say, I think Burdine might be rattled a little bit. Haven't had a clean inning since the second.
After that ball that went off his ankle, he seems to be a little bit off. As Anthony Traumer stands in, singled his first time up.
Tarp Skunks have been hammering the ball up the middle, so.
First pitch taken on the outside corner for a strike. And the count goes 0-1. First time that Burdine has picked up a first pitch strike in a while. And the pitch fouled off. Count goes 0-2.
Notice that Denny Martin is coming in on the grass there.
Looking to protect against perhaps a push bunt. 0-2 the count. Burdine kicks and throws. That one's fouled off. Stays alive at 0-2.
And remember how Diethrick Park has a further backstop.
Oh, yeah. Almost double the distance between home and the backstop as, say, Batavia or Olean. So that one misses inside, 2-2.
It almost reminds me how far the backstop is like Milwaukee Brewers backstop. So that's almost a mile from the point.
Oh, man, the worst was the old Oakland Coliseum. 1-2 in the dirt. Nice stop by Smith behind the plate. Count goes to 2-2.
Oakland also had very large foul areas.
Oh, man, yeah, the cavernous. Absolutely cavernous. And, of course, you know, very similar situation with a lot of the old ballparks from, you know, the 60s to the 90s. They were all those cookie-cutter round multi-purpose monstrosities. As that one's fouled back, count remains 2-2. You look at Three Rivers in Pittsburgh, that was terrible. Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, that was almost as bad as the Coliseum.
You also got to remember the Polo Grounds.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, that was before baseball had I think, true standards for what the field needed to be. But yeah, the Polo Grounds, crazy. 2-2. And the pitch, swinging and foul back, and Traumer stays alive.
It's almost a swing and a miss. He just barely made contact on that one.
Yep. And again, having a good at-bat here. This will be pitch number 8 in this battle. Who is going to walk out the winner? There's a chopper toward third down the line. Wing picked up and no throw. That's going to be an infield single for Anthony Trommer. And the forest is full of skunks with nobody out. And that's going to bring up Caleb Jordan.
That is the second single for Trommer today. And now with the bases loaded and no outs, good position to be in.
As there is activity in the Olean Oilers bullpen. And you have to wonder, is this going to be an it for Burdine? And if so, that's got to be disheartening because you know the Oilers needed him or wanted him to go more than 3 innings.
They put in their ace for today.
Well, no motion yet to the bullpen. I think this has 3 purposes. This is to kind of gauge where Burdine is stamina-wise, control-wise, also to set up, where base you go into if the ball's hit to you. And third thing is really just to kind of give him a breather in this heat and humidity.
I would also say to buy some time to get the pitcher in the bullpen a little bit more warm.
So now, forest full of skunks, nobody out, and that's going to bring up Caleb Jordan. Jordan, who got on via fielder's choice his first time up. First pitch. That one misses for a ball, 1-0.
And Caleb Jordan, a guy who is able to draw in runs when you need him to.
Yep. Again, quietly 18 RBIs on the season. Doesn't do it with a lot of flash and pomp and circumstance. Just puts in the work and gets it done as that one misses inside. 2-0.
You got to appreciate players who are like that. Just does when you need him to do.
Nolan Smith was very much like that last year. As the 2-0 comes in, misses 3-0. Smith last year quietly had a solid season, hit over 300, set a Skunks franchise record for most walks in a season with, I think, 43. But, he was outshadowed a bit by guys like Jacob Haynes, and there's a chopper down the third base line. That is going to be a fair ball and extra bases as it rolls into the Lafayette corners. 2 runs comes in. Holding at third is Anthony Trommer, and Caleb Jordan with a 2-run double gives the Tarp Skunks a 5-0 lead.
And that's the thing. We just talked about how he's able to draw in runs when you need him to. You needed him to do it, and he did just that, bringing in 2.
For Caleb Jordan, that's RBIs number 19 and 20. And with still nobody out and runners at second and third, that's going to bring up Branson Lindquist, and that is going to be all for Burdine. Rough outing for the Oilers starter. We'll get the new pitcher coming out of the bullpen in just a moment. 5-0 Tarp Skunks.
And welcome back here in Russell E. Diethrick Park. Tarp Skunks up 5-0. after Caleb Jordan driven in 2 on the RBI double. New pitcher for the Olean Oilers as Dre Guinness is here to give you the splits on him.
It looks like it's Luis Areola. Still trying to get a confirmation on that number. If that is 16. If it is Areola, it's going to be his 4th appearance. Comes in with no record, a 9 ERA in 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 8 walks, 8 strikeouts. And teams are hitting .292 against him. And he will inherit a pretty big jam happening for the Tarp Skunks, 2nd and 3rd, with nobody out, 2 runs already across here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Let's go ahead and get you caught up real quick on a couple of scores around the rest of the PGCBL. Auburn in 5 innings in the first part of a doubleheader, mercying out Niagara Falls by a score of 10-0. Geneva Red Wings 5-1 over the Newark Pilots. That's in the bottom of the 5th inning. Batavia and Elmira tied at 2 apiece. And that is where we are. As Branston Lindquist stands in, and the first pitch to him is taken up and away for a ball 1-0. Infield playing in on the grass.
Kind of have to at this point. 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out, or no outs.
Yeah, outfield playing straight away. And next one finds the zone, and the count goes 1-1.
It'd be nice for Branston Lindquist to be able to drive some home. If you remember back a couple of Niagara Falls away games, he drove in 6.
As that one fouled off for a strike, count is 1-2. Got a correction. We did get confirmation it's not Luis Areola, it's Brandon Roush, the new pitcher, and we'll get you the splits on him as soon as Branston Lindquist drives home these 2 runs. Roush comes set. The 1-2 pitch coming. And that one's fouled at the plate, and that one came back and hit Lindquist right off the hands.
And got jammed up on that one. Probably hit the handle, maybe the base. Got a piece of his finger, maybe.
It's now still 1-2. Lindquist waiting. Runners take their lead. And the pitch. There's a fly ball down the right field line. That one is hooking foul. And we'll do 1-2 all over again.
And that's the thing. Even though that hooked foul, that one stayed in the air longer than you would think it did.
Yeah, that's when you get this kind of humidity, still air out there, that ball is there's not gonna be a lot to knock it down. For Brandon Roush, that's his 6th appearance. He has started 5 games. 1-2 record with a 5.40 ERA. Lindquist waits. The 1-2 pitch coming in. Swing and a miss. And Lindquist goes down on strikes. For the first out of the inning, and that will bring up the bottom of the order, CJ Dugan.
That was the first strikeout for the Tarp Skunks today.
2nd. Delanto rung up on strikes back in the 1st inning.
Oh, yeah, 2nd.
But since then, they've done a good job moving the line. Only 1 inning where they've sent up a minimum of 4 hitters is the first pitch to Dugan. Swing and a miss, gets behind Smith, goes all the way to the backstop, and a run will come in to score. And it's now 6-0.
It was Anthony Trommer that came around to score. And Caleb Jordan advancing to 3rd.
Dugan with a base hit, his first at-bat. He was wiped out on a double play back in the 3rd. Right-hander waits. Kicks and throws, and that one's fouled down the right field line. That one just clears the light stanchion down the line and ends up outside the Olean bullpen in the picnic area.
Now, that one just missed the lights. I thought it was heading for one of the bulbs out there.
You break it, you buy it. 0-2 pitch. That one called strike 3, and Dugan did not like it, and a number of the umpires behind the backstop agree as well. But the second strikeout of the inning, and that's going to bring up Grant Moore.
Grant Moore has been able to turn it around now. So he got himself a single. Came on a fielder's choice, 2 steals, and came around to score twice.
First pitch to Moore. That's taken for a strike. 0-1, and Roche has been letting up the strike zone here. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Tarp Skunks. 0-3-1 for the Oilers as we're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fireworks night here at Diethrick Park. After the ball game, we're going to blow some stuff up. There's a high fly ball into right field. Going back on it is Fleming, and he makes the catch. And the inning is over. But the Tarp Skunks put 3 across the plate. We go to the top of the 5th inning. It's 6-0 Jamestown. Six nothing. Tarp Skunks with the lead as Ryan Tatar back out on the mound. For his 5th inning of work, he will face Hunsaker, Martin, and Smith. And back up to the mic for the 5th and 6th, it's Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much. Sequence here has changed. Usually you're the one to start, but now I get your innings and you get mine.
Well, it's part of the internship here. You know, you have grown, and you are actually a little bit ahead of schedule from where I thought you would be at this point. So, kicking off July with you opening the game, and pretty much for the rest of the season, we're going to swap out.
Oh, really?
Every other game, one of us is going to lead, the other one's going to follow, and then the next game, switch.
Well, here's the first pitch from Tatar. That one is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count to Christo Hunsaker.
You know, it may not seem like it, but it is actually a structured internship.
Is it? That one is fouled at the plate, and so Hunsaker is behind on the counts. 0-2.
Well, let's look at it. The first, 3 or 4 games, it was you sat in the 2 chair, you ran color while I did the play-by-play, and then we started working you in. And, you're about a week ahead of where I was going to have you leading off games.
Oh, yeah, that is true. As that one is fouled on the right side, and we're going to do 0-2. Yeah, because originally you wanted me to do it probably like next week.
Yep. That was the plan. Was going to have you do it for Newark.
See, 0-2 to Christo Hunsaker. I went outside for a ball. 1-2. And then you also pulled up the full game for the doubleheader on the 13th.
Oh yeah, Auburn comes into town for a doubleheader. You're going to be doing the entire game at play-by-play, and I'll be sitting here next to you pushing the buttons.
And that one just missed. 2-2 to Hunsaker.
Not sure where that missed. Maybe a little below the knees, but Tatar not getting the gifts. He has to earn it.
Well, Hunsaker struck out in his last at-bat. Tatar wants to do the same thing. And he does. Rings them up for a second time. So one gone for Olean, and that's going to bring in Denny Martin, the first baseman.
That was a filthy breaking ball. You could see Hunsicker was sitting on a fastball on the outside corner, and Tatar came in with that breaking ball that just froze him for the first out.
That one in there for a strike, 0-1. Denny Martin, he also struck out his last at bat. It was that stretch of 3 straight strikeouts.
Tatar seems like he's getting stronger as this game goes on.
Swing and a miss is Denny Martin, and so now it is 0-2 the count.
It could very well be that he's a warm weather pitcher. Now that the weather has gotten to where he may feel more comfortable, it's coming easier to him. And I can understand that.
Where does he play in college? That one just missed.
Of course, you're going to ask me that when I don't have my notepad with me. I haven't had that notepad in my backpack for like 10 days, and you finally got me.
Swing and a miss by Denny Martin. And so 2 straight strikeouts here at the top of the 5th. I was going to bring in Brady Smith, and he also struck out.
7 strikeouts for Tatar in this one. I think he's only walked 1. And actually,
I don't see a walk on my notes.
I don't see a walk on my notes either. So, you know, he's given up 3 hits.
Went outside for a ball. 1-0.
Struck out 7, has walked none.
Very clean game defensively. Went outside for a ball, 2-0.
This one, you know, combine this in his last start, those 2 starts, you almost start considering him for all-star.
Well, again, it's all about the pitcher stepping up to the occasion, and that's what Tatar has done. That one just missed the zone, 3-0. You know, as we see that Tatar is approaching walk. Now, he battled his way from a walk previously. 3-0. That one in there for a strike.
And, you know, again, having to throw those extra pitches, but working his way back into the count.
3-1 the count. That one fouled, and that one hit Lindquist or the umpire?
I think that went off Lindquist's face mask. Umpire's going to give him a opportunity to clear his head there. You know, nothing can prepare you, even as a catcher or a home plate umpire. Nothing can prepare you for a baseball off the face mask.
Well, I did catch 3 innings, and that's why I never did it ever again.
I've had worse injuries being a home plate umpire than I ever did as a ball player.
Check swing. No swing. I'm not too sure, but nonetheless, that is going to be the first walk for Tatar as he walks. And Brady Smith.
The crowd didn't like it. I've got to agree with the appeal call on that one. He got the bat around, but was just able to hold up before he broke the plane.
So that's going to bring in Keegan Elegant. Mick Elegant. He grounded out to short.
You heard the crowd not liking that call, though.
That was a pretty close swing, but like I said, first place umpire had the best vision. So that one driven out to left field. And that one is a long foul ball down the left field line.
Yeah, Trummer chasing after it, but there was no way he was going to get to it.
Good effort, though.
You like to see it.
That just means that he is hungry and wants to get the third out.
You know, the players that show hustle on the field, they're the ones that generally will get the start.
You know, we talk about names. I gotta say, Keegan McElligott has a catcher last name. That one is in the dirt for a ball. 1-1. Like Mick anything, I think as a catcher.
Automatically put him with the Boston Red Sox.
I put him on the Rockies.
Ooh, why would you do that to somebody?
'Cause that one is a line drive up the middle, and McElligott gets himself a base hit.
See, he took that personally. You said you were going to put him on the Rockies, and immediately he kiboshed that one.
So that's going to bring in the bottom of the lineup, Grant Fournier.
There's just some teams you don't ever say they look like they belong on.
It's just the last name that's really doing it for me. Or maybe the A's.
Texas Rangers.
That one, ground ball to second. Weeks throws on the short, and they get the out at second, and that'll do it. One left on for the Oilers on 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is still 6-0 Tarp Skunks.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Tarp Skunks holding on to a 6-0 lead as they will send up their 2-3-4 hitters, Weeks, Smith, and Delanto. As Brandon Roush on the mound, he will start his first full inning of work, came in relief to Brady Burdine back in the 4th inning. Next time the Tarp Skunks will be here at home is going to be Tuesday, July the 7th, as the Newark Pilots come into town. It'll be $2 night. More information on the Tarp Skunks social media and the website, JamestownTarpSkunks.com. They will be on the road tomorrow on the 4th of July in St. Catharines to take on the Niagara Ironbacks, and then on Sunday up in Elmira to take on the Elmira Pioneers. And got information earlier today that the doubleheader that was washed out against the Elmira Pioneers will not be made up. So those are 2 games that got washed from the Tarp Skunks schedule.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to shake up this lineup or shake up the standings after that.
As Eric Weeks stands in, first pitch fouled off, count 0-1. It's the 2nd season in a row where a doubleheader against Elmira got wiped out due to weather one way or another.
That one outside for a ball, 1-1. You know, if that's the 2nd season that's got washed out, you might as well just put it opening day next year. That one is inside for a ball, 2-1.
Well, what's interesting about it, I think, is last year, you know, those 2 games could have affected the difference in the top of the standings. Jamestown, if they had won both those games,
that one is outside for a ball,
would have ended up in first place and would have had home field advantage throughout the Western playoffs. And now we've got almost that same situation in play. Tarp Skunks coming into the night only a half game behind the Muck Dogs. And those two games could have an effect.
As that one has popped up, coming in as the pitcher and first baseman, but it is the catcher Smith calling everybody off, and that is PO2 for Smith. And that's going to bring in Nolan Smith.
Smith singled, drove in an RBI back in the first inning, and got on in the third, was wiped out on a double play.
Now, I always say this, the Cavalry really came here when they needed. Smith hitting a home run back in Auburn. It's that one in the zone for a strike. Don Costello hit a home run or hit a grand slam in Batavia. Spittarelli also had a good game yesterday. That one is... No, that one missed. Umpire looked to his right, but did not make a call.
That's an umpire balk right there.
Yes. Give Nolan Smith the walk. I'm joking. That one is in the dirt for a ball. 2-1.
That wouldn't be one of the more crazier rule proposals I've heard for baseball.
Umpire balk, automatic walk.
Yeah, let's not set that trend.
2-1. That one misses, and so now it's 3-1 to Nolan Smith.
You kind of got to wonder where that one missed. That almost looked dead red center cut across the plate.
Well, Nolan Smith is also pretty tall, so that could have lengthened his strike zone. It's that one driven out to left center field. Coming in is Fournier, but it is Willard who calls off Fournier, and so quickly 2 away here at the bottom of the fifth. So that's going to bring in Paul Delanto. Paul Delanto struck out and also grounded out into a double play.
Dangerous hitter any which way you cut it, though. He's not afraid to swing the bat.
That one catches the zone for a strike. 0-1. Paul Delanto, he does know how to extend it at bat. He's going to fight until he can't. That one driven out to left field, ranging back. And that one is caught at the warning track by Willard. And that'll do it for the Tarp Skunks. They go down 1-2-3 as we head to the top of the sixth.
As we go to the top of the sixth inning, Ryan Tatar back on the mound. He will continue his outing, facing the top of the order in Stout, Bates, and Fleming. And here to tell you about the sixth inning, it's the one, the only Jalen Ferguson.
I am the one and only. Reference to Ricochet.
Nobody knows who that is.
That is true. So Ryan Tatar, he is going to face Thomas Bates, Brian Fleming, and Aiden Willard. Ryan Tatar has been cruising through this game. I think you might be right here. 6 or 7 innings is expected from him.
Well, he's currently at 86 pitches. So he's a little bit over the average, but his control has been ridiculous. I think he could probably, if he has a manageable inning here, I think he could definitely go 7.
That one in the dirt for the first pitch of the top of the 6th. I want to know the count.
Although
Thomas Bates.
I'm thinking this might be his last inning because you don't want him exceeding 100 pitches in back-to-back outings.
Well, you have a better vision than me. Is there anybody warming up in the bullpen out there?
Absolutely not.
As that is a ground ball to third base. And he had to jump for it and makes the tag, and he is not in time as he reaches the bag.
I mean, give Nolan Smith all the credit in the world to try to make that play. Just Stout got his foot on the bag before the tag was made.
Well, I think Nolan Smith having to jump for it is what made Thomas Bates safe at first. And Joe Riedebach is talking to the home field umpire.
Well, no harm getting clarification on that one.
I mean, from our vision, though, I thought he was safe. It was the fact that Nolan Smith had to jump.
Yeah, I don't necessarily hate that call, and the umpires do conference. They check with each other. The safe call is confirmed. I don't hate that call. Don't necessarily love it, but I don't hate it.
So here is Brian Fleming. Snapped on the first, not in time. Oh, no, that was Stout on first.
Yeah.
That one in the zone for a strike. I am a batter ahead. That was Stout. And this is Bates right now.
And I think for Joe Riedebach, going out there, that wasn't really to argue the call. That was more to protect his pitcher. If he could get a free out and not have Tatar work extra, why not?
Fouled behind the play, yeah. But it has been some clean officiating for today.
7 Ks for Tatar on the mound.
Very impressive. Bates is behind 0-2 with Stout at first. Big lead by Stout. Snapped on the first, not in time. And Bates.
Well, now the bugs are starting to fly around Tatar's head. You saw him step off and try to wipe them away.
Yeah, that is sometimes a problem, especially when the lights go down, as that is a ground ball. Throws on the first. That one gets past Weeks at second. And so that is going to be most likely an E5.
And that's exactly what the call is an E5. Branson Lindquist going to go out there and check on Tatar, just make sure that he's still in the right headspace.
Again, Caleb Jordan, that is the second ball that was offline.
Yeah, that's a hard throw, though, when you're coming in, charging the ball, and then having to reach across your body to throw behind you to hit your target. That's a tough play.
That's going to bring in Brian Fleming.
Now the Oilers with something happening here. 2 on, nobody out.
Lays down a bunt, and that one fouled, and that hit Fleming on the ankle.
That hit Lindquist, I think, on the non-glove hand. And he is not thrilled about that. tough. You have to be mentally and physically tough as a catcher.
Not only that, you as the catcher, you are almost the second most active player moving constantly on that field.
That's absolutely correct.
Everyone else, even though they're taking gradual steps to get ready, Branston Lindquist has to make very abrupt movements behind the dish. It's a swing and a miss by Fleming.
You know, that's actually a point that in all the years I've been watching baseball, I never actually thought of.
It's a little experience that I've picked up while only catching for 2 innings of my life. It's very tiring. You have to, it's not something that you can just pick up and do. You have to train for it. Is that one in the dirt for a ball? 1-2. Especially when we're not broadcasting, how everyone else do their stretches, the catchers do their stretches and their warm-ups a lot differently than everybody else.
Yep. They've got it's almost like being a hockey goalie. We've mentioned that many times here.
Someone is behind. Or no, good block by Lindquist, as it is now 2-2 the count.
Got to warm up. You got to make sure the hips are flexible. Got to make sure the knees are flexible. Ankles are flexible.
This is almost like half the warm-up is stretching for them. That one is in the dirt again. So now the count is full. And I think the Bugs might be getting to Ryan Tatar as he has been swafting away at his face. Nonetheless, full count now to Brian Fleming. Stout at second, Bates at first. As that one is popped up and fouled just behind us. Good job by Dre not flinching on that one.
That was probably one of the first ones I was actually able to track off the bat and watch it not fly toward my face.
Because that almost fooled me. We're going to do 3-2 all over again for Fleming. No outs, 2 on. Swing and a miss by Fleming. That is a big out number 1 that they needed.
Strikeout number 8 for Tatar.
So Aiden Willard coming to the plate as he popped up to center field and also flew out to center field. Or no, he had a single.
And that was pitch number 98, which is kind of leading me to believe that this might be his last inning.
It most likely has to be. That one just misses for a ball. 1-0. I mean, he's almost teetering at the threshold of where he was the last time. What was it, 104?
Yeah, he's at, this will be pitch number 100 right here.
Yeah. So it's most likely going to be his last inning. Giving Stout a look. And that one just missed. He's giving Stout a pretty decent stare at second base. Could possibly see a double steal by the Olean Oilers. 2-0 the count to Aiden Willard. That one in there. Good frame job by Branston Lindquist getting the called strike. So 2-1 the count. Olean, no runs on 5 hits, 1 error. Tarp Skunks, 6 runs on 9 hits, 1 error. And that one just down the pipe. 2-2 the count.
That was a beautiful pitch right there.
Hopefully Tatar is not losing some velocity as he has extended his pinch count to over 104.
Doesn't look like it.
That one fouled at the plate, and we're going to do 2-2 again.
And that fastball right there was indicate that he still has the kind of velocity that he had when he started the game.
It's good that fatigue hasn't set into a decrease in his velocity. But 2-2 again to Willard. Giving Stout a stare. That one up high for a ball. It's 3-2.
And there is some light activity now beginning in the Tarp Skunks bullpen. So as much as Joe Riddebach would love Tatar to finish out this inning and go 6 solid, definitely it's time to get some of the troops up.
He's going to have no choice but to. Because that one popped up and fouled. And this time, Dre did flinch.
I didn't flinch. I just moved my body so I could watch the flight of the ball. It was off to my right, and I was going to lose it.
Sure it was.
Look, that's my story, and nobody else can see me, so that's what I'm sticking to.
So 3-2 for Aiden Willard. Cooper Tarley on deck. Fouled again. And Aiden Willard has been fighting in this at-bat. I don't know. How many pitches is this? I want to say 10.
Yeah, at this point, I've lost track. I would say at least 9.
As the fans behind the dish wants Tatar to ring him up here. This could most likely be his last batter. That one fouled again behind the dish.
What a battle between Tatar and Willard here.
Either side giving up an edge.
This is the momentum swing right here. If the Oilers can put one in play, that changes the dynamic of the game a little bit. If Tatar sets them down, that really sucks the air out of their balloon.
That one ground ball to first. Good pickup by Smith. Stepping on the bag. And that was too close for comfort, but nonetheless, he gets the out at first unassisted. And so that's going to bring in Cooper Tarley. And Nolan Smith was giving the look at second, almost wanting to turn too, but just stepping on the bag.
Thought about it, but realized that too much speed on the base paths prevented that from being a thing.
Well, that would not be the last batter for Tatar, as it's going to bring in Cooper Tarley. And depending on how this goes, could possibly be Ryan Tatar's last batter.
Tarley has flown out to right and center.
And he also swings and misses.
I was going to say it would be interesting. It would be funny to see him if he flew out to left, but that brings up on Wednesday night, Tino Masson putting together a sequence that is so exceptionally rare. Had a 1 in 21 million chance of happening.
No, 1 in 21 million?
1 in 21 million.
As that one is driven out to left field, ranging back is Traumer, and that one is gone. And that has just turned this game upside down. As Olean, with a 3-run home run to decrease the lead to 3, it is now 6-3 Batavia. 6-3 Jamestown.
Well, you know, it was bound to happen eventually that someone was going to be able to put a dent against Tatar's spectacular outing. However, you know, he will continue to try to finish out the 6th inning. But for Cooper Tarley, his legend against the Tarp Skunks continues.
And I heard a different name than Crystal Hunsaker.
Looks like this is going to be number 24. Let me see if I can get the name on the roster here. It's going to be Logan Coslin, the pinch hitter.
And here is the mound visit. That is most likely going to be it for Ryan Tatar.
And if it is, you know, no reason to hold your head down, hang your head. He has pitched a tremendous ball game here. It looks like Joe Riedebach might leave him out there for one more batter.
I know, yep, they're leaving him in there.
Yep.
That was just a pep talk. Just get through this.
That is the first home run hit against the Tarp Skunks at Diethrick this season.
At Diethrick.
Yeah,
That is amazing.
There have been a few against them on the road, but at Diethrick, that is a rarity. Of course, anyone hitting a home run here is a rarity.
Well, that's a ground ball up the middle. Slow roller picked up by Dixon, and he cannot field it cleanly. It is going to be a single.
Well, we'll see what the actual official score on that one is.
No, they gave the wrong side an error.
They'll fix it.
Oh, yeah, they put an error, so that's most likely ours. As that's going to bring in Denny Martin. Or nope, another pinch hitter, as it is going to be Jack Painter.
And that is going to be all for Ryan Tatar. He has pitched a phenomenal ball game here, but too many pitches, and the clock has run out on his inning. And we'll get you the new Tarp Skunks pitcher when we come back. 6-3, Tarp Skunks with the lead. Jack Santee is the new Tarp Skunks pitcher. He comes in his second appearance on the season. Oh, let me correct that. His sixth appearance on the season. He comes in with a 1-0 record in 8 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run earned, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Hitters are hitting $1.67 off of him. 1.13 ERA, and he is looking to close the door for Ryan Tatar, who had a spectacular outing here tonight. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 runs on 6 hits, 2 of those earned, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, including 3 looking on 111 pitches, 73 for strikes. Can't ask for much better than that, and if you do, you're greedy.
As he will face Jack Painter. That one driven out to right field, ranging under his Dugan, and he makes the catch. And so the first pitch for Santee is an out, and that'll do it, but not before a 3-run home run. It is 6-3, Jamestown. And welcome back here to Russell E. Diethrick Park. Roush here to start off his second inning of work. He will face Costello, Dixon, and Trommer. Olean, after not the grand slam, but a 3-run home run by Cooper Tarley. As Jamestown looks to answer back, even though still being up by 3. But here is Dom Costello.
And I made it back in time to push the button.
Let's see how the Tarp Skunks are able to answer back after the 3-run home run by Cooper Tarley.
Third time to the plate for Costello. He's walked and grounded out.
That one in the zone. Or nope, just missed. 1-0 the count to Costello.
If you're in the Jamestown area and you want to get a head start on watching things explode in the sky.
That one in the zone for a strike. 1-1.
Fireworks popping off after the game. Come on down to the area. Catch a fantastic show.
That one just missed. 2-1 the count.
It's our second to last fireworks show. We only had 3 this year. One on opening day tonight, and then, of course, Christmas in July, the final home game against the Geneva Red Wings.
2-1. Costello, that one is inside for a strike.
Ooh.
And Costello did not like that call one bit.
Yeah, that was... Whoa, well, we're getting started early.
Well, yeah. Speaking of fireworks.
Yeah.
2-2.
They're watching the game, and they got excited. I mentioned fireworks.
That one driven out to left center field, calling everybody off as McGilliot. And he makes the catch. And that'll do it for Dixon, or not Dixon, for Costello. Coming up to the plate is Dixon. Or nope, Fetchick is going to pinch hit.
No, this is Distal Dixon.
Oh, no, that is Dixon.
When did they announce Fetchick?
It sounded like they did. I'm not too sure.
See, I wasn't paying attention, so I'm relying on your word here.
I
It is
heard-
Dixon.
Outside, but catches the zone for a strike. 0-1.
Dixon singled, hit by a pitch, and scored.
That one is up high.
Yeah, that was at the eye level where it looks nice and juicy, and you want to take a bite out of it, but realize it's off the plate. Good job leaving that one alone.
Yeah, he did hold up on that swing. That one catches the zone for a strike. 1-2. And that's the thing. This umpire, I think he's starting to widen strike zone a little bit.
It's possible. Some do that as the game goes on.
Went outside for a ball. 2-2. Because the one that Dom Costello didn't like, it looked like it was inside, and then that one outside. Nonetheless, 2-2. That one is a ground ball to second base. Dixon on his horse cannot beat it out. And quickly 2 away for Jamestown. That's going to bring in Anthony Trommer.
For Trommer, 2 for 2 on the day. A run scored back in the 4th inning. Trommer having a outstanding day at the plate. Not a bad day out in the field either.
He got himself a couple of singles there.
I'd like a 2-out single here.
Swing and a miss on the off speed. So Olean won the count.
That was a swing of someone expecting a fastball and just got chewed up with that off speed.
Yeah. Through his breaking ball. 0-1. That one driven out to left field. Ranging back is Willard. And that one gets down. And here comes Traumer to second, sliding into second safely. And he gets himself a line drive down the left field line for a double.
Big 2-out double keeps the inning alive, puts a runner in scoring position. And right now, is there a hotter hitter on the team than Anthony Traumer?
I mean, he's doing the job you need him to. I was going to bring in Caleb Jordan.
Jordan grounded into a fielder's choice, also doubled and drove in 2 runs back in the 3rd inning. He's had a pretty spectacular day at the plate as well.
That one is up high for a ball.
Picking up RBIs number 19 and 20. And number 21 is sitting out there waiting to be driven in the form of Anthony Traumer, 180 feet away.
So 1-0. That one fouled at the plate. Caleb Jordan, he's just been racking up RBIs in recent games, like you said. Got himself a 2 RBI double. That's to add on to that. So the 1-1. And another foul at the plate. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, he's definitely thinking put it in play.
He's been making contact.
Traumer has some speed, so anything hit in the outfield theoretically should drive him home, especially going on contact with 2 outs.
And a 1-2 to Caleb Jordan. That one missing for a ball. 2-2.
And I just realized I had spent this entire at-bat not performing the scoreboard duties. That's how into this at-bat I am. Some high drama developing here in the bottom of the 6th.
Even count with 2 outs. Wanting to answer back. That one popped up. Coming in is Roush. But making the catch is Stout. No, that dropped.
I mean, that ball had some wicked backspin on it. I'm almost of the opinion that if that hit someone's glove, that could have probably rolled out. That's how much spin was on it.
And that's the thing what happens when you get under the ball. But here comes the 2-2. Once again to Caleb Jordan. And that one inside. Caleb Jordan did not like it one bit. But that'll do it for the Tarp Skunks. 1 left on. We head to the top of the 7th. It is 6-3 Jamestown. Welcome back here to Russell E. Diethrick Park. Jack Santee still on the mound here to officially get his first inning of work. First start of the inning. He'll face Brady Smith, Keegan McElligott, and Grant Fournier. And here to call it all is Dragonus.
All right, thank you very much. Jack Santee coming in relief of Ryan Tatar and threw one pitch to end the inning. So he will come out for the 7th inning. Tarp Skunks with a 6-3 lead. Trying to pick up their 2nd in a row in back-to-back days, and at minimum 3rd in a row against the Olean Oilers. Check some of the scores around the league for you. Batavia up 6-3 over Elmira. That one in the bottom of the 7th. Geneva defeating the Newark Pilots by a final score of 5-4. And the Doubledays mercy out the Niagara Falls Americans in Auburn by a score of 10-0 as the first pitch to Brady Smith taken for a strike, and the count goes 0-1. Over in the East, Glen Falls drops a 9-0 shutout to the Utica Blue Sox as that one is fouled away. And the Amsterdam Mohawks, who coming in as the league's best team, trailing Anianta 4-1. That one in the top of the 8th as there's a ground ball gets past the glove of Dixon at short. And a leadoff single for the Oilers here in the top of the 7th inning. And with no out and a runner on, that's going to bring up Keegan McElligott, left-handed hitter. Not sure if today is his first day with the Oilers. Had no official stat line, so we're assuming. Comes in 1 for 2. Grounded out to short and got a base hit. Squares to bunt. That's a beautiful one right out in front of the plate. Lindquist has it. Does not have a play as the speed too much by McElligott. He gets on with a bunt single, and now the Oilers instantly 2 on, nobody out for Grant Fournier.
I think Branston kind of just hesitated on the throw there.
Well, at that point, I don't think he had a throwing lane. That's the one thing that's tough about having a left-handed first baseman. As the first pitch taken for a strike, squared to bunt, pulled it back, but the ball was right over the heart of the plate. Count goes 0-1.
Olean's trying to load the bases here, trying to square down another bunt.
Yep, Nolan Smith crashing. Weeks rolling on the wheel play, squares to bunt, and it goes right to Smith. Smith has it, throws on to first. That's the only play they're going to have. As the runners advance, sacrifice bunt is good. And with one down, that's going to bring up the top of the order for Derek Stout.
What is that, a 3-4 play there?
3-4 put out. So 1 out for Derek Stout. He's 2 for 3 on the day, a couple of singles. And the first pitch from Santee is way off the plate. And the count goes 0-1, or 1-0.
Starting to hear fireworks, not here, but I'm hearing them kind of faint in the distance.
Oh, yeah. Breaking ball catches the outside corner for a strike, 1-1.
That was a nasty off speed right there, just freezing up Stout and catching the outside corner there.
I think filthy is definitely the appropriate word. 1-1, 1 out. There's a line drive up the middle. That is a base hit. 1 run will score. Holding at third as the throw in was cut off is McElligott. And runners at first and third now with only 1 out, and the score now 6-4.
Yeah, it's kind of like how the Tarp Skunks were attacking up the middle. That's what Derek Stout did, attacking it up the middle.
Nobody warming up in the Skunks bullpen, so this is going to be Jack Sante's inning to get out of here. As Thomas Bates stands in, he reached on an error, struck out twice. 0 for 3 officially.
Snapped it first.
And nothing doing. Stout back easily.
That one. That could have got me. I was at first. Almost looked like he was gonna deal it.
Swing and a miss. And the count goes 0-1 to Bates. Fleming on deck unless Bates grounds into a double play here.
That's exactly what Jack Santee will want. Getting out of the inning with only that one run.
Squares to bunt, pulls the bat back. That one taken for a ball on the inside. And the count 1-1.
I don't know what the method is here, as they have been trying to lay down a bunt for the third time.
I think they're trying to catch people off guard here. And that's going to move Caleb Jordan even with the bag at third. Middle infield at double play depth. Runner goes, pitch swung on and miss. No throw down to second.
Branson, he didn't get a good hand on the ball off the transition there.
So Bates now in a 1-2 hole here. I don't know why they're saying 2-1. Waiting for the end. It looks like 1-2, the official count from behind the plate. And Santee stands off. Wants to have a conversation with Lindquist. And with that runner at second, might be going to second sign indicators. Absolutely no wind. Very slight breeze, 81 degrees. On a warm summer night in Jamestown, New York. Glad to have you with us. Drake Guinness and Jalen Ferguson. Here in the top of the 7th inning. 1-2 the count. And Santee kicks and throws. That one's foul off. And we'll do 1-2 all over again. Tarp Skunks will be spending the 4th of July over the border in Canada, as they will take on the Niagara Ironbacks on 4th of July up in Canada. And then on Sunday up in Elmira. 1-2 pitch. Way off the plate. 2-2.
And Olean is catching up to the Tarp Skunks on hits now. Tarp Skunks have 10. Olean has 9.
It's a bit like a football score as well. A touchdown and a field goal against 3 field goals. 10-9. So we're late in the third quarter, I guess. 1-2. Ground ball to short. Bobbled by Dixon to throw. Not in time. And the Oilers cut the lead to 1. It's now 6-5.
And I'm not too sure what they're going to give him on that.
Yeah, we're waiting.
I don't know. Could that be that could be a single?
Could be. We'll see, though.
Well, they gave him the error.
The third error on the Tarp Skunks. As that's going to bring up the left-handed Fleming. First pitch missing outside for a ball, 1-0. Trouble brewing at the corners. 1 out here, top of the 7th inning, of the Oilers with the tying run 90 feet from home.
And the Oilers have been capitalizing on his extra outs.
Still don't see any activity in the Tarp Skunks bullpen, as there's a ground ball to second. This could be 2. To second for 1. Throw on to first. In time, they got him, and the side is retired. Oilers dugout not happy about it, but we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's stretch time here at Diethrick Park. 6-5 Tarp Skunks with the lead.
Back here to Russell E. Diethrick Park. Roush here to start his 3rd inning of work. He will face Lindquist, CJ Dugan, and Grant Moore. And here to call it all, it is Dre Guinness.
All right, Jalen, thank you very much. As I just checked down in the Tarp Skunks bullpen, it looks, don't quote me on it yet, but it looks like it's Colin Pence warming up for the 8th inning, and if that's the case, then Chase Barron might be ready for the 9th. As Branson Lindquist set to lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Roush has been unhittable since he came in relief of Brady Burdine. First pitch taken for a strike, 0-1.
Tarp Skunks just haven't had an answer for him. Been eating up a lot of innings.
The 0-1 pitch, and gone halfway through, and the windup stopped, and I'm not sure what the conversation is here. Oh, they're stopping play because a car parked behind center field, the batter's eye. Someone needs to get out there and tell them to move that car.
Actually, that is a good eye by. Oh, well, they turned the lights off.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe they're watching the game and realized, oh, wait a minute, we shouldn't do that.
Well, I think we're the only broadcasting this.
Yeah, Olean not bringing out the road crew. So 0-1 to Lindquist. And the pitch. That one missing outside for a ball. 1-1. As we can see out in the distance, it's just out of the camera range, but there are some fireworks going off up near the mountain range. That one missing outside for a ball. 2-1.
Well, these are the mountains of upstate New York.
I'm trying to figure out where that would be coming from. I got no idea. Ooh, off-speed pitch came in and hit Lindquist. Either high up on the shoulder or off maybe the bill of the helmet. Not sure. Either way, he's on base with a leadoff free pass, and that's going to bring up CJ Dugan.
Oh, the stone cold take by Lindquist barely moved his head out the way.
Dugan 1 for 2 with a base hit and a strikeout. His 3rd at bat here. As it is fireworks night here at Diethrick Park, things are going to explode after the game. First pitch, way off the plate. And it is 1-0.
I like how you're framing it like things are going to blow up and explode.
Yeah, fireworks, just say, hey, we're going to have a fireworks show. That's boring. You tell people things are going to explode, it's just going to get people's attention. That one misses off the plate, 2-0.
It would be funny if I just came to your house and was like, hey, we're going to blow some things up.
I would probably, take you down to the basement and show you where you could plant the base charges. 2-0. That one off the plate, 3-0. And Dugan has worked this count to his favor here. Roush's going to have to come in with something juicy. Otherwise, we might be looking at 2 on, no out.
It'd be a great position for the Tarp Skunks to answer back.
3-0. That one taken for a strike, 3-1. Dugan, no argument with that one. And that was a good gotta-have-it strike. Three-one. And the pitch. There's a line drive down the left field line. That is going to be a base hit. Lindquist is going to hold at second. That ended up going right toward Willard. And C.J. Dugan with his second base hit of the ball game. 2 on, nobody out for the top of the order in Grant Moore.
After that line drive, now I can see where the fireworks are being shot out.
There you go. Just to the left of the stanchion that has the GCFCU $50 hit it here sign. Grant Moore stands in. 2 on, nobody out. First pitch from Roush. That one taken. Ooh, I thought he was going to call that a strike. He had that motion, but never put the arm out.
Another umpire balk.
Yep. Moore has singled, reached on an error, and flew out. He swings and misses. And the count even at 1 apiece.
It is, it's 3rd of July, but what are the best places to light fireworks?
I honestly don't know. I spend my 4th of July is usually in my house making sure my dogs aren't freaking out because they do not like fireworks. That one misses off the plate, 2-1.
I remember because back at home, we go to Chicago, Navy Pier, and they light fireworks out in the water of Lake Michigan.
Ooh, that would be a spectacular show. Off-speed pitch misses up, 3-1 to Grant Moore. Roush is starting to lose it a little bit here. I know somewhere supposedly over the bridge of Chautauqua Lake there's supposed to be fireworks, but swing and a miss, 3-2. I just have never gone out for 4th of July fireworks. It's not that I don't like them. I do enjoy the fireworks.
I mean, the fireworks in Chicago, it's like a big thing for them because they broadcast them on the news too. If you look in the sky, that would be like news helicopters.
3-2 up and away, and Grant Moore draws a walk, and the Tarp Skunks. Forest full of skunks with nobody out, and the ever-dangerous RBI leader, Eric Weeks, and there's going to be a conference at the mound. Activity is happening in the Olean bullpen. We'll see if they make the switch here, or if this is just a settle-down talk.
I think the sequence has been settled down before yanking.
Yeah, there definitely wasn't the long, slow walk, although now a second Oiler pitcher has gotten up, a lefty and a righty out there in the bullpen. The right-hander's been out there a little bit longer, so if they do make a switch, it will be a right-hander as the left-hander goes to sit down. And the conference at the mound has gone on a little long. Home plate umpire going out there to break up the tea party. We'll take this opportunity again to remind you of our upcoming home games that we've got coming up. Tuesday, July 7th, the Newark Pilots fly into town on $2 night. And then the Batavia Muck Dogs come in on buyout night, July 11th, 6:30 p.m. You are not going to want to miss that. And then the doubleheader against Auburn on July the 12th. That is also a buyout night. Free tickets So make your plans to come on down for affordable family entertainment and support your Jamestown Tarp Skunks as Eric Weeks steps in. 1 for 3 with an RBI today. 24 RBIs now on the season as the first pitch poured in for a strike. Off-speed pitch that fluttered over the plate. Kind of like the bugs fluttering around the pitchers' heads out there. 0-1. That one on the outside corner for a strike. 0-2 the count.
Eric Weeks, like you said, the leading RBI on the team. They know that. Olean knows that.
He needs to put something in play here. So that one misses off the plate. 1-2. You don't want to have a situation with the bases loaded, nobody out, and not be able to bring a run in. Something that killed the Tarp Skunks last year a lot has not really been that big of an effect this year. As there's a fly ball out to left field. That could be deep enough. Willard, no. Called off was Fournier, makes the catch, and Lindquist makes it about a third of the way down and does not attempt the tag up as the throw came into third. And bit of a wasted opportunity there as Weeks drove it far enough. And the throw was going behind Lindquist. Not sure why he was held.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't hit out deep enough, or maybe Lindquist just didn't have the speed to beat it out. Either way, it's still bases loaded.
Well, now Nolan Smith stands in. That first pitch taken for a strike, 0-1. He did not like that call at all.
Yeah, Nolan has been pretty frustrated with the strike calls.
And if there's anyone on this team that I trust to know a strike or a ball, it's Nolan Smith. That next pitch off the plate, 1-1.
Like I said, he led the team, or what did he put, a team record of 40 walks?
Single season franchise record, I think it's 43 walks. I don't have the spreadsheet on this computer, and I need to. 1-1 the count. That one's foul off to the left and out of play. 1-2.
I quite literally blinked and did not see it.
Yeah, me neither. That one was off the head of the bat in a hurry. No, we're getting mosquitoes flying in here.
Had a couple of mosquito bites on my leg. I don't know how.
That one fouled off toward the Tarp Skunks bullpen. We'll do 1-2 all over again. Mosquitoes don't bug me because I eat enough garlic. There actually was a study released that says there's something in garlic that mosquitoes do not like. So maybe that's where the vampires not liking garlic myth came from. Actually applies to those little flying bloodsuckers. 1-2. That one off the plate. 2-2.
That's one thing to call them.
Mosquitoes and wasps, two of nature's most useless insects.
Well, wasps.
They're just nature's jerks.
Yes.
2-2, swinging. There's a foul off to the left again, and Smith putting up one heck of a battle here against Roush.
Wasps are the bugs' equivalent of bullies, because they bully honeybees, and they actually try to do things for the ecosystem.
Oh, I forgot the flip the switch. Yes, it is bottom 7. Thank you, Chad, for reminding me. And that one is called strike 3. And Nolan Smith just got ejected for arguing strike 3. And he might be a little bit justified, as that was a questionable call. And the home plate umpire, a quick trigger.
I gotta agree with Nolan Smith. The one that rung him up the last time was inside, and then that one hit him inside as well. He had to move out of the way on that one, but they called strike on it anyway.
And now Joe Riedebach going to have the discussion with the home plate umpire. And justifiably so. Nolan Smith ejected. We'll see who's going to replace him at first.
And also, the inside pitch rung up Dom Castillo, and he didn't like that call either.
So now the conversation over, 2 down here.
It's most likely going to be Nate Muncy to replace him.
Well, JRC also an option. JRC was smoking the ball out of here in batting practice. He might be the option they go to.
It's like what I said a couple innings ago. It felt like the umpire was widening his strike zone.
But to have that quick of a trigger, I think, is unjustified. Unless Smith used a few choice expletives. I mean, even still, that's unjustified. First pitch to Paul Delanto, taken for a strike, and he can't believe it.
You know, it was clean officiating, and I remember, like you said, sometimes umpires will widen their strike zone as the game progresses.
Oh, and the crowd here getting on warning issue to the Skunks bullpen, or to the Skunks dugout. You know, that was to Joe Riedebach. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
And it's kind of shades of what we saw back in Batavia, too.
Delanto back against the wall. 4's full of Skunks. 2 down here. And the pitch from Roush. Way off the plates for a ball. 1-2. And if that had been called strike 3, this place would have gone nuclear.
Well, I'm hearing some fan chatter, and they were like, they rung up Nolan Smith on that same pitch.
1-2. Runners are going to be going on contact. The pitch. Swing and a miss. And the side is retired. No runs. Hit, bases left loaded. We go to the top of the 8th inning. It's still 6-5 Tarp Skunks.
So everyone, right away, let's start with 2 more. For the grand question, top 10 winner, bringing home the 3 minutes up to about 10 minutes.
And welcome back here to Russell E. Diethrick Park. As we go to the top of the 8th, it'll be Aiden Willard, Cooper Tarley, and Logan Costlin. New pitcher on the mound, and here to give them the splits, it is Drake Ennis.
Well, still waiting for confirmation, and I just now received it. New pitcher for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is the setup man, Colin Pence. For Pence, his 8th appearance, 1-1 record on the season, 3.86 ERA, 14 innings pitched. He's given up 13 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 3 walks against 10 strikeouts. And to say this game has gotten slightly heated would be a bit of an understatement. If you're just joining us, Nolan Smith ejected in the bottom of the 7th inning for arguing balls and strikes on a terrible call. Tarp Skunks had the bases loaded with nobody out. and unable to score, so still 6-5 here.
Well, now it seems like Olean is starting to get back some confidence.
Question in chat, did Joe get ejected in between innings? I did not see that at all, so that's a good question. I didn't see an ejection. Of course, I wasn't really paying attention, which I should have. I had to take care of a few behind-the-scenes duties. As Colin Pence's first pitch to Aiden Willard is a ball 1-0.
I don't think Joe, I know Joe was issued a warning. I'm not too sure if he was ejected nonetheless.
So 1-0. That's a foul off to the left. And the count evens at 1 apiece. One and one. Pence, the setup man, kicks and throws. That one's fouled just below us. And the count goes 1-2.
It is Muncie to replace Nolan Smith at first.
Tarp Skunks continue to get snake bit on questionable calls. There's a swing and a miss. No question about that one, as thanks for the AC, 1 down here in the top of the 8th inning.
Well, again, Olean is starting to get back some confidence. You want to shut that down pretty quickly.
Yes, you do. And Cooper Tarley, if there's anyone on the Oilers' offensive lineup that is swollen with confidence, it's Tarley, who had a 3-run home run back in the top of the 6th inning.
It's part of the reason why Olean is still in this game.
You know, the only blemish against Ryan Tatar's beautiful gem is there's a chopper towards short, picked up by Dixon, throw on to first in time, and there are 2 away.
That's good. Good momentum here towards the inning frames. 2 quick outs here.
There's Coslin, who came in to pinch hit for Hunsaker back in the 6th. His second plate appearance, he grounded out to short his first time up. Or make that note, he got a base hit his first time up. First pitch taken for a strike, and the count is 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. There's a chopper towards second. Weeks has it. Flips over to first. 1-2-3 inning for the Oilers as they go down. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Tarp Skunks holding on to a 6-5 lead.
Welcome back here to Russell E. Diethrick Park. New pitcher on the mound for Olean. He will face Dom Costello, James Dixon, and Anthony Trommer. And here to give you the splits on the new pitcher is Dre Guinness.
Well, we're still trying to figure out who the new pitcher is. I can't quite grab his number in the box store. We're still waiting for that to be updated. Oh, here we go. Henry Kite the new pitcher, wearing number 51.
Is it spelled exactly like a kite?
Yes. All right. And he has no record, which means he is also a newcomer to the Olean Oilers, making his first appearance. So no book on him. It'll be interesting to see what he has.
I mean, from what I can tell from his warm up, he has been throwing some gas.
Well, it looks like it's gonna be power on power as Don Costello, James Dixon, and Anthony Trommer do up against him here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
He's gonna make a monster swing there, power on power.
Skunks have been held scoreless for the last 3 innings. First pitch is inside for a ball, 1-0. Skunks put 1 up in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth. I'll get this right one of these days. So there's a foul off to the left, and it's 1-1, and have been silenced ever since. Olean 3 in the 6th on the Cooper Tartley home run, and then 2 in the 7th. It is a very active crowd here tonight.
Fireworks day.
This always brings out a good crowd. I'd say close to 2,000. As that one misses up, 2-1. Smith, the catcher, wanted an appeal, but no appeal to be had.
You can't really tell. Back is towards first base umpire.
That one way off the plate on the outside. 3-1. Skunks have had a leadoff runner as that one's fouled back and the count goes 3-2. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. 5 of the 7 innings already in play. They've gotten the leadoff runner here, so Costello looking to add to that.
I mean, Kite has been throwing gas.
So the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. And Costello goes down on strikes, 1 away. For the shortstop, James Dixon. For Dixon, 1 for 2. Singled back in the second, was hit by a pitch in the 4th. And then grounded out to second his last time up. First pitch misses out for a ball, 1-0. Looks quiet in the Skunks bullpen, but I have to wonder if Chase Barron's already warmed up or if this is going to be Colin Pence's to save. Oh, and that one hits Dixon behind him, just kind of grazed off of his back shoulders. Taking it like a champ, he hits down to first base. And here's Anthony Trommer, 3 for 3 on the day. And I think, if we're going to start talking about most valuable stinker here, Ryan Tatar on the mound, Anthony Trommer at the plate. End of discussion on my end.
I'm going to throw in Nolan Smith.
Swing and a miss.
Can also
throwing some heat.
Can also throw in Eric Weeks in this with his RBI double.
0-1. There's a drive out to center field, but underneath it and putting it away is Fournier, and there are 2 down. And that's going to bring up Caleb Jordan.
And Caleb Jordan's going to really need a big swing right here. Put this game out of reach. But then again, no lead is safe here in the PGCBL.
Never. Jordan stands in. Kite kicks and throws. Squares to bunt. Pulls it back. Takes the pitch for a ball. 1-0. For Jordan, he reached on a fielder's choice. He has doubled. and was put out to end the 6th inning. So 1 for 2. Make that 1 for 3 as there's a little flare out to shortstop. Miguel got underneath it and puts it away. And the inning is over. 1 hit, 1 run, or no hits, 1 runner left on base. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Colin Pence out to save it. We'll be back 6-5 here in Jamestown. Colin Pence out on the mound for the save situation. He will face Painter, Smith, and McElligott due up here for the Oilers. Top of the 9th inning, and here to call his first ever top of the 9th, it's Jalen Ferguson.
Thank you very much.
Did I add too much pressure?
No.
I can't, because I can add more.
No.
You sure?
Oh, because you gave me the clothes back in Olean, but then I kind of hesitated, just let you have it.
Yeah, I'm not taking it today. It's all yours. If we go off the air with you sputtering and staggering, you know,
that's it. That's what it's got to be.
That's, you know, if that's how it is, that's how you learn.
So here comes Jack Painter. That one is fouled back. So first pitch strike.
And notice the lack of flinch from your broadcast partner.
Yes.
That was under us.
1-1. Swing and a miss by Jack Painter. Now he's quickly behind 0-2. So Pence looking for the pitch to close out the at-bats. Kicks and deals. Fouled. That was a little bit of a flinch.
Yeah, that was close to our third base camera, too. That was really more of what I was kind of leaning over for. I just wanted to make sure it didn't hit the cameras.
If the camera was alive, it would flinch.
I just don't want to have to pay for it.
I don't think you would have to. So 0-2. That one up. So 1-2.
Well, you know me, I would have that guilt.
I
hung the camera there.
mean, but they let you do it.
Well, Randy Anderson helped me do it.
Exactly.
So I guess I'm off the hook.
So 1-2. Just missed outside. 2-2. You know, as the game is nearing its conclusion, it's not about the closing. It's about trying to get the win here. It's what's really doing it for me. But 2-2. And that just missed. Oh, man.
Really?
That was called strike on previous plays, but nonetheless, 3-2. That one fouled. And Jack Painter not letting up. So 3-2 to Jack Painter all over again. Kicks and deals. And that one fouled. That hit the mask of Lindquist. Or the bat. I don't know. Something hit the mask of Lindquist.
It was definitely the ball, because if it was the bat, that would have been catcher's interference, and Painter would be on first. Of course, also, if that was the bat, then Painter's got very long arms.
Could possibly hit him in the head on the end of the swing. But nonetheless, 3-2 all over again. And he went. So that is a strikeout. Colin Pence winning the battle there. It is one down for Olean. That's going to bring in Brady Smith.
And do you think that might be a little bit of a makeup strikeout?
I hope it is. I mean, home plate umpire said he swung.
Yeah.
So here comes Brady Smith. And that one missed. You got to be kidding me. We're 1-0 the count. And that one.
Yep, he said he went around on that one too.
Yep, so 1-1 the count. Tarp Skunks 6 runs on 11 hits, 3 errors. Olean with 5 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. Here in the top of the 9th. Colin Pence.
Oh!
And that one missed. 2-1 the count.
I mean, at this the strike zone has gone from being expanded to squeezed.
I'm not too sure why, but 2-1. That one driven out to right field. Dugan ranging under it, makes the catch. 2 gone. Last out for Olean. So that's going to bring in Grant Fournier.
No, that's going to be Keegan McElligott.
Oh, I just saw. That's Keegan McElligott. Grant Fournier is on deck.
Yep. Pence 1 out away from locking down the save. And the Tarp Skunks 1 out away from going 18-7 through 25 games.
So here he goes. Oh. That one, ground ball coming in, steals it as Jordan throws on the first. He's safe at first. I am in disbelief there. That was a good scoop by Muncie, but McElligott just being able to beat it out, and that's going to bring in Grant Fournier.
I'm at a loss for words at this point.
That one outside for a ball. Branston Lindquist being able to keep it in front. So 1-0 to Grant Fournier. That one, ground ball to Weeks. Bobbles it, throws on the first. They get it. And that'll do it for the game. Tarp Skunks being able to get the win against Olean of a final score of 6-5. Our next broadcast will be broadcasted live here at Russell E. Diethrick Park here on Tuesday as the Tarp Skunks are able to extend into a 2-game win streak. For Dre Guinness and the entire Tarp Skunks organization, I am Jalen Ferguson telling you Godspeed.